It's Peter Goon. It's day 4 of programming every day until I get a full-time job. So today I will be, what will I be doing? Text. Day 3. So the last time I had, you run the pod. I had this. So this looks like bullshit right now, but this is how the files, not the files, but when you open the app, you'll be see the projects, right? And I'm pressing J to go down and K to go up because I want Vim navigation in this application. So that's why I made this. So what could I work on now? There's a couple things I could work on. I could work on the back end, which would mean like how I'm encoding text and stuff like that, or I can work on the editor itself, right? So I think I'll work on the editor today because in order for the back end to work, it would be helpful having that visual cue of like, oh, like it's on screen, right? So, and on screen meaning like whatever file I've selected. Say, imagine this second square file, right? Navigate to it and I press enter and it pops up, right? It would be nice having that sort of visual cue. So I'm going to be making the editor, or I'm going to start the editor today. See how far I get in like an hour, and then yeah. So first, I gotta clean up this shit right here. On main, okay. Check out, that should be footer. Okay, and here I'll start a new branch with just the editor code. Admittedly, I should have done this with the rectangles because like that's not in a. You want to keep your main branch like your good code, right? You're like ready for production code, and that is just not really ready for production. I'm gonna rotate real quick. Okay, so. What the heck, bro? Oh. Duh. Okay, nice. I have it cleared. So, what the fuck is that? My phone fell. Nothing really important. Okay, what is the text editor? I gotta break that down. A text editor. Load a file. Load the contents of a file, and be able to. File. Is a text editor. The contents of a file. Save changes to a file. What else should a text editor be able to do? I should be able to edit the file. And should you be able to delete the file while in the file? I'll say no for now. So I think these are the core responsibilities of text editor. Let me think, what else text editor need like this? Like what do I I think that's it really. Okay. For like a general text editor, right? Like obviously the one I'm trying to make, there's gonna be a little more stuff to it. But yeah. What else do I need? Vim modal editor, meaning there's a mode to normal mode, right? Which I can like go through the text, I can read the text without editing it. There is normal mode, insert mode, and visual mode. I think that's all the things I'm gonna like. I like never use visual block mode. I'm like I don't even like know all of it, right? If we were to look this up, right? Like what would I actually use? Use this. HTML. I don't use these. I use W. I use E. I use B. I don't use GE. I use percent when I can. Jump to the start of the line. I don't use this. I use caret. I use $sign. I use GG. I use G. I don't even do that. I use GD, but we don't like need that in what I'm trying to do. Well, I did not know that was a thing. That's actually like super useful. So I'd be like spamming F, whatever. I don't use any of these. ZZ. I use this. I use this. I use that. I use Control E. Yeah, I use Control I. Move screen up on page, cursor to last line. Move screen down on page, cursor down line. No, I don't use B or F. Yeah, I don't use D and U for that. Editing. R, I use R. Start visual mode. That's visual line mode. I do. Right, visual mode, visual line. yeah, these I definitely do. Yeah, copy the. Should add marks. Marks could be used. I've been using those. I've started to use those. Or indent. Okay, but what I'm trying to say is there's a lot of shit to Vim that I don't even use. So I'm just gonna add the stuff that I personally use, right? And like, these are the big ones. Okay, what else do I need that's like specific to my use case application? I need a way to figure out where a note is, right? Figure out what parts make up a note. So like, for navigating into. So if I had inner note one, right? If I had this, right, I would want to be able to like when I highlight over this, right, it kind of just shows the brackets, which is fine for this, right? That's just how it is. But you see when I move my mouse over, it kind of like lights up. I don't want that behavior, but with my what is this called? Cursor? No, whatever this blue rectangle is, right, or purple or whatever that is. I don't want it to be like that, where if I'm over an inner note and I press a command, say command enter, oh, it actually does it exactly like that, right? Being able to navigate into it, and yeah, figure out what parts, what text makes up a note for navigating into it. What else do I need? Modal editor. Using commands I use. I should delete that cheat sheet. HJKL. HJKL. WE. Yeah, just R. D. G. G. What else? What else do I use? And I'd want it to be the what is it? Count command action. I think that's the acronym or the thing. So you do 5 D K. It'll delete up 5, right? Then OU. And commands I use with command count command 5 D J count command direction. Yank F. Okay. Here what text makes up for navigating into it. Highlight or visually show what text are subnotes. Command L to navigate to subnote. Command H to navigate up a level. I think that's it. Right, and then like when I do the backend eventually, that will handle like what is a note, what type of file, all that stuff. Right now, this is what I'm gonna be working on. So, okay, what do I need other features? No, I don't think so. Where should I start? First, let me see if I can display text on a screen. Okay. Display text on screen. I think I was able to do that before, right? So game loop. I think that was in this tutorial. Display, yeah, initialize fill. Where is it? There. Oh, there. It's fine. It's so choppy, bro. Yeah, okay. Display text on screen. Okay, I can do that. Edit display text on screen. How to my game. Editing text. Seems like a good article to read. In this article, we will see how to play with text using the Pygame module. We'll be dealing here with initializing font, rendering the text, editing the text using the keyboard, and adding a blinking cursor note. You can proceed further with the font initialization part. The Pygame font is used to initialize the font. Pygame font get, and it method is used to check whether the font has been initialized when both of the methods are argument, and the font has been initialized. Font and it method returns true. Did I render the text you want to display? So we can do it like this. How did I do it here? Text is equal to font.render. 1 is true. Things that are for sex is true. Let me get water, and then I will continue. Okay. And also edit our text. Import pygame, import time. Pygame.init. It's in text. Text was equal event.unicode. So text is just a string. If it's not backspace, we just add it to the string. And under text, true. 255 0. Alright, and background color. Time mod 1 is 20.5. So display update is at the end. Maybe it's the old thing. Okay, so how text. Words is equal to computer gun text. And then words img rect equals img.getRect. G is equal to rect. Trip it. Okay, rect img is equal to text dot get rect. So they make a rectangle. Rect. Rect on top left is equal to 2020. It's just so I can match this stuff, right? F9. Rect on top left is equal to 2020. Cursor is equal to pygame dot rect. Rect on top right 3 rect dot height. So we're making a rectangle that is width of 3 and the same height, and then you're calling that cursor. Okay. What does rect dot top left do? Is it just rect dot top left 20 20? Cursor is equal to hanging out rect dot top right 5 rect dot height. So here they do the fill stuff down there. Okay, I'm just gonna copy and paste this. Oh, okay, so they need to if words. Why am I saying words? Words. Words. Stuff is indented too far. That does nothing. Okay. I'm just gonna copy and paste this for now. Wow. The name is Avash. Okay. Oh, interesting characters. Okay, add notes. Need process key held down. I wasn't able to. I held backspace if I held specific letter. It didn't actually do anything. Okay, so more time. Should I use the pygame module? They did it. Okay, there's no about it. Alright. too far. Okay. This is just a white screen, so what do I need? I need to screen. Text. Okay. Python game. Pygame. We have a font, and then IMG is the initial rendered text, and we create a rectangle out of a font. Pygame font. Font.render. What does the render method? It renders the text, right? But then, like, why can we get a rectangle out of it? Oh, isn't it like something where the rectangle will just be exactly how much it's surrounded by? I think that's it. So, render text is equal to not render text one, and then it's the color. So just 0, 0, 0. Okay. Now we have the render text. We get the rectangle of it, and then we shift it by 20 pixels. Text rect rendered text.get rect. Text rect dot. Oh no, I don't have center text copy. There's so much stuff. Alright, and then while running. So let's comment those out for now. If event.type pygame key down, if event.type to pygame.key down, if event key is equal to pygame.back space, if ln text is greater than 0, text is equal to text 1. Okay. Else text plus equals event.key.unicode. G is equal to font.render text 1 0 0 0 background screen dot delete G rect. Rect is not defined. What is rect here? Text rect. Okay, it's still not working. Why could that be? Why could that be? Get a font. Get a font. we render our text. We get a rectangle. We shift it to the right by 20, down by 20. And I'm not even gonna like worry about the cursor right now while running. Okay, watch out. For event in pygame.event.get. Okay, we're getting every event. Just keep typing pygame.key down. Key. Not. Display screen. There we go. Okay. We have a basic text editor now, or we have one, but I was able to figure it out a little bit more on my own. So the order of things matters quite a bit, right? Because before I had this, I was bleeding the background after bleeding the rendered text, right? And the problem with that is that I was just covering up the text, right? So I couldn't see any of my updates. Be nice having you can add blocking later. I don't need it right now. So now what's next? I think I want water. I think I want a cursor now, right? Well, cursor. I think once I figure this out, I'm gonna call it for today. But okay. What would this entail? We would need okay, so the cursor is just a rectangle, right? It's just a rectangle that, say, just Christ. The cat is meowing, right? I think this is a good time. Instead of, the first thing we would need to do is before we do this, right? Get mono, because I don't know what font is the default font, but it's probably not monospaced. Is that the right term? Monospaced font. Ugh. Monospaced font, also called a fixed pitch, fixed width, or non-proportional font, is a font whose letters and characters each occupy the same amount of horizontal space. This contrasts with variable width fonts where the letters and spacings have different widths. Monospaced fonts are customary on typewriters and for typesetting computer code. Monospaced fonts were widely used in early computer terminals which had limited graphical capabilities. Yeah, I need a monospaced font. Oops. Okay. Music, CapCut, that stuff. many fonts. What is this? Open font license. Okay. Do I have two of these open? Python, Pygame, custom, font. Download font called Redline TTF, and I want to use it in Pygame. I just want to print text on my screen. I found a basic font called Free, Sans Bold, and Photo Pygame. I'll find the same photo when I use. -1. Oh, I see. Move, downloads, mono. What did I click? Why did it quit? Nope. Cause these projects. Okay. And font path is equal to relative. Stripe range mono. Static slash bold. Medium. Font path. Nope. Open new update. Heavy. Main.py. Nice. What character is that? Null character? I think this is a good place to commit. Yeah, just stage off now. Feet. Basic editing with JetBrains mono. There's no brain for it. So, now what? To notes. Normal mode question. Okay. What does this mean? Okay, cursor is just a rectangle. What information would we need? We would need okay, starting. Next is. So we need, is there any text at all? So we got length. Well, for the text. Okay, also need. Okay, so if there is, we would need what position it's in, right? So we would, before that, we would need starting, which is 0, ending, which is length, string, and we need our current position, because the current position would be the square that we would render on under the text. Right? Yeah. Okay. So at this point, my current method, or the first method that I thought of, is we would render the background, then we would render where that rectangle would be in the text, if there is any text, and then we would render the text on top of that. At that point, we would have what you call it, bro. Normal cursor. I'm sorry, I'm actually so tired. Okay. So to make our lives easier, I think I'm just gonna remove that for now. I'll just delete it. So this should. So at the very corner. Okay. Perfect. And I did that because it would just make calculating things easier for now. Okay. So code's getting messy. It's not even that, it's like 50 lines long, but still. You can see how full application can get kind of messy. Um, um, rendered character is equal to font.render. A. It's a good time to read what. So font.render is doing. Font render hiding. There. So font object. Balls Richie. Ball scratch break. Draw text on a new surface. So it's need to render text. What does this mean? Huh. Not this. This argument could be helpful because then we don't need to draw a rectangle. We just simply flip the backgrounds on and off as we iterate through, right? So I should think about that later. I'm gonna think about that later. Or would that be easier? Because I'm lazy. I'd want to do the easiest thing to get this working, right? But the problem with this is that we'll be creating like so many. In my head, we would be creating like a new, not font, it wouldn't be a new font object, but it would be a new rendered text object for each character, right? And that seems inefficient. That could be the only way to do it in the future if I were to go the route of just flipping the backgrounds on and off. But I don't know if that's the move right now. Character rect rendered character.get rect. So what this is doing is now we have this is a tuple, the size. Okay, so now I have the square of a. I want this to be. Let's make that red. 255. Okay. Text. So I'm going to be just hard coding some text, and I'm just going to be rendering the text at all times, and then I'll try to make my normal mode, at least for left and right, work for now. So that would say the cat is meowing and the dog is barking. Okay. So now we have and equals the length. Start is equal to 0, and is equal to length text. This one. So, okay. Okay, so now that I have that, start end, curve is equal to 0. Render text. What do I have? Let's make the font smaller. Okay. Screen.lit background character rect 0 0 valid rect style argument. What is render text? Render text is font screen.lit character rect curve 0. Argument of type rect cannot be assigned to parameter source of type surface. So if I did rendered character, this would work because this is a surface. So we would need to make a rectangle that's a surface instead. Okay. F-string character rect. Print F-string character rect type character rect. Okay. So what does this make? Character rect is a rectangle. So font editor. Font.render creates a screen. I'm gonna start doing type annotations for these, bro. Character. Surface, that's what it is. So I would need to make a surface that is the size of this, right? Surface, surface, get rect. The rectangular area of the surface. Okay, just any rectangle card. Okay. To create a surface from a rect. Python. Honestly, AI saved me. How to make in Python, how can I make a surface out of the size of a rect and pass in a color for the surface to be. In Python, you can create a surface using the size of a rect and fill it with the color like this. Rect, so you create a rect, surface. Okay. Cursor is equal to Alright, so let's see that. I'm hungry. No, I didn't even fill it yet, no. Sir. Nice. So what did I do here? I created a surface from the size of the rect, and then I just filled it, right? Okay. And I have the positioning stuff here, right? So now let's put text. Oh, other text. Screen.put cursor. What? I did it. key is equal to game dot aj if cur is greater than 0, cur minus equals 1, cur minus equals 1 is what? With lit. Print. Cursor type. Cursor. 12 by 27 times 32. Surface dimensions piping. Width, height. 12 by 27. Move 612 times cur. Screen dot lit. Cursor. 0. Let's see. Okay. So you want the text to move, right? If event.key is equal to game.k, L. If cur is less than, why do I always do this? Start, end. Do I have end defined? I do have end defined. Okay. Cur equals 1, move is equal to 12 times cur. Okay. Oh, it's not J, it's H. And it's not 12. 27. It's not 27 either. This is my last guess, and then I should try to figure out what the number is. Not moving the same amount? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It is 12. It's absurd number. So it's not working. That is wrong. I think this will work. Okay, that did work. Why? If I just do this, right? same thing as before, right? No. It's not the same thing as before. Dude, did I just have some like stupid bug? Even if it did move it, it would go back here. I see now. So we don't want like intermediary stuff like this. Git stash. Git checkout. Now check. Git checkout. Edit. Turn. Stash. Up. So if we change this. In a while. No, dude, fuck. No, that just like broke my shit. How to check for continuous key press blocking. Should be having a variable for each key you want to listen to. Listen. Alternate, there should be having a variable for each key you want to listen to for, and in the key down event set to true, and in the key up event set to false. Oh. Let's copy this. Put it in my notes. Nice. Let me read the code real quick. Okay, so I have text. I have start and the end. And I'm in a font. And then I made a rectangle the size of one character. And then it's never used. It's here. It's probably better because it's in a rectangle rather than just being somewhere. So a lot of it just okay, saying what happens when someone does an input and reflecting that on the screen. Interesting. Well, okay, thank you. It's been day 4.